What's going on, you fine people? You decent people? You morally sound people? It's time for another episode of Worldly World Star. I wanted to do this weekly, or at least bi-weekly, and hadn't for a while. I was having some technical issues. I'm not going to explain it, but we'll get right into it. I want to focus today on empty money motivations and how value systems structured on money being the sole proprietor of your values basically it leaves you devoid of any complex belief or a complex value system, if you will. So as we continue to take a look at degenerative culture, world star hip hop being one of the epicenters for that, we hear a lot about get that money, go and get that ice. I had to do what I do to get that money. And it's one of the questions I have is why? And I would like anybody viewing this to think about, why is it important for you to have financial success? Why, to what depth and to what extent do you value financial success? I'm going to talk about the emptiness of money motivations and the value money and financial success can have when it has the actual depth to it. So we're going to have I'm going to give some examples of different meaning you can give to financial success. But first, we're going to start from the bottom up, per usual. We're going to dive into some music because that's where the epicenter of the culture is, right? Music affects culture. Music leads to generative culture. In my first episode, it was like an hour long. We spent a lot of time kind of looking at silly stuff in the video feed here, but I'm going to shorten the episodes, stay on topic, and point out where the empty money motivations and the degenerate brainwashing, where the degenerative brainwashing essentially just shows up in, well, popular rap and hip hop music. So let's start with Germ, My Little Draco, whatever the hell that is. I stop often. It's less of us listening to music and more of us trying to siphon out the degenerative message of each individual song. And without any further ado, Germ, My Little Draco. Can't get my Windows bar to go away for whatever reason.
Boy, I don't put that with my chopper. Draco baby mop stick. Draco baby chopper. Check out the proper.
Okay, so we got a what's the right term? Like a black Rambo out in the desert somewhere, shooting an M16 looking weapon. It's probably fake since I'm not quite sure, but I don't think you can own an M16 legally. If you can, awesome. Everybody go buy an M16. I heard they're good guns. They're cool. But he's got a 30 rack of Pabst Blue Ribbon. He's talking about rolling up with his chopper, which is a gun, and he's popping some shots away. Nothing promote and get that money for no reason yet. We're gonna try and see where that lies within the song, because that's the focus.
Conquer, let this step the higher than the jet. Bitches ain't no game, no play with me. I ain't no any yet. Boy, I don't put that with my chopper. Draco baby mop stick. Draco baby chopper. Check out the proper flex. Conquer, let this step.
I mean, he's showing off his grill. It's probably fake gold, but I mean, if money and your finances have no integral meaning, I mean, you're gonna spend on bullshit to put in your rotting teeth anyways. Like, yeah, let me spend this paycheck on a grill. You fucking idiot. Go put tinfoil in your mouth. It'll do the same thing.
Higher than the jet. Bitch, this ain't no game, no play with me. I ain't no any yes. Red sap, sipping that with me. Facts down, slapping masterpiece. Bitch, you bought it, heard you bought it. Roddy whip, fashion me. Heard you did it, but I'm dripping. You just might be after me. Should've told me in that.
I'll be honest with you guys. In the last episode, you don't have to go watch it, but I mentioned how common it is in popular rap and hip hop music for you to have a difficult time actually understanding what they are saying. I don't know what that means. Is that trying to hide messages and slurred monkey English? I don't know. I have no idea. But I think there's something to be said about the fact that you cannot understand what they're saying.
Rory, mama, I'm sorry, I had to flex like this, another jet like this, another clock like that. Wet them up like where that mouth at, wet like cats that. Big body, chop on me, and my mama can't do with the llama like.
So I'm not finding a whole lot of empty money motivation necessarily being spoken in this song, but I can tell you I have an issue with the gold wrist, the gold bracelet with the razor attached to it. That's degenerative. What, you're cutting up cocaine? Cocaine does permanent, irreversible damage on your neurochemistry. Even if you do it once, like you did the dent, and then each time you do it, you continue to do the dent in your neurochemistry and your cognitive function. I've seen it happen in my own family. I've seen it happen in previous friends of mine, acquaintances, if you will. He's got an M16, and he's just shotgunning beers. Like, he's promoting carry a gun, defend yourself for whatever goddamn reason. There's no point. He's talking about rolling up with the chopper and shooting people. He's got a coke cutting bracelet, stupid gold grill in his mouth. He spent money on these little ponies for the music video. And then it's get drunk and act like a degenerate, smoke weed and dance around like a fool. You want to know why people have an unconscious bias that is negative towards black people? It has nothing to do with them being black. It has everything to do with the majority of degenerative culture being black. It has everything to do with that, and little to do with them actually being black. For example, if you're white and you dress and behave exactly like this, you will be profiled by the police, just like a black person who dresses and behaves like this. There's no difference. It has nothing to do with race and everything to do with degenerative culture. And rightfully so. You behave like this in public, you dress like this in public, I'm gonna think negatively of you, and rightfully so. Being a stand-up person who wants to perform well and do good in this world. Anyways, I'm done with German, this fucking tongue speak. Oh, hang on, I didn't introduce him. We got Low Got Cash feat Rich the Kid. Bitch in a Bag. I talk about how the far left, who supports degenerative culture with making blasphemous claims of racism, it's like, no, we're not racist. We just don't like degenerative culture. There's a difference. They're also misogynistic. They horribly mistreat women, and then probably were telling people to vote for Hillary and want you to, and if I were to say something along the lines like, I think women need to be mothers, I think they need to, hold down the fort while the man stakes claim in the world, they would all be screaming at me for misogyny. But at the same time, they can talk about bitch in a bag, whatever the hell that even means. Anyways, without further ado, Low Got the Cash feature Rich the Kid. Bitch in a Bag. God, I can't even imagine what this song's about. Insert generic title here with the same goddamn rap music lyrics we hear in every song.
Bitch, what the fuck going on, bro? Easy code. Whoa. Easy code, this shit fire. Look. I put that bitch in the bag. I put that bitch in the ring. She saw my dick.
I put that bitch in the bag. I put that bitch in the room. Suck on my dick in my belly. I think that's what he said.
Put that bitch off the hill. She said I be treating her bad. Baby, you know I got plenty. Bitch, you just one out of many. Fuck with that bitch, you too friendly. She love me. I don't doubt her. Money machine. Watch me count her.
So, I'm gonna another again, it's just chanting and ooh, ooh, like that's what it sounds like. You can't understand. But anyways, I'm not gonna sit here and just shit on the specific song for its message. I want to stay on empty money motivations for a moment. But I also want to draw a negative example of poor money motivations here. It seems like all of these people in degenerate culture are obsessed about self-image. And that seems to be the main reason that they have to act like a degenerate, sell drugs, maybe even kill each other for money, is to endorse their image, enhance their image, so they can continue doing degenerate things in a classier manner. I don't understand it. So, okay, I gave a negative example. I would like to give a positive example of proper financial motivation and proper meaning for finances and money. So let's say I came from a broken family. Parents are divorced. They didn't do that great of a job. I'm talking personal experience here. They didn't do that great of a job teaching me skills, values, giving me insight into a belief system that's going to help motivate me and focus me in the world. And with that being said, you should I want to work hard and I want to express myself and do the things that I need to do or feel like I need to do in this world so that I can gain financial stability in hopes that my fiance and I can have a good familial foundation so that I don't have to struggle and work all of the time, so that I can teach my kids the skills that I've taught myself, so I can give them value structures and a morally sound belief system, so I can spend the time required and the money required to help my family stabilize and even educate themselves to a level in which that they can move forward comfortably into the world to continue to do good. So I want to do good with financial stability for my family so that they can continue to evolve through the generations, doing good in the community and further yet into the world. That is a money motivation having a sound depth to it, a foundation that would be hard to crack. If you were to come and try and break down my reasoning for going and getting that dollar, you're going to have a hard time because who can argue with wanting to do good for your family so they can do good for the community and do good in the world? I'm not going out and getting that money so I can buy some chain that says got cash, put a grill in my mouth, and have a razor bladed gold bracelet. That's absurd. I can break that down in minutes. Okay. I don't know if I want to continue watching this because I've been staring at a woman's ass for about 5 minutes now, and I honestly just hate how much that this culture abuses their own women, and then the hypocrisy of them to yell at anybody who's conservative and thinks that women should value their own bodies and put some fucking clothes on. Anyways, let's proceed with Bitch in a Bag.
Look like a mama, dogs dance, look like a flower. Just give it a hug, yo. Baby, you know I want face and shit.
Look at okay. I don't know if you're listening just to the audio, if you're actually watching it, but I want to point out. Look at the flat face in both of these niggas. Look at them. There's no soul. There's no actual expression. They're so done with reality. That's why they're able to do and say these things. It's just get that money so I can maintain my image and people think that I'm not a soulless, broken human being. Louis don't be on that bitch. Don't be on that bitch. Bad boy bitch. Whoa. Looking like Diddy and making like Diddy. If your daughter looks anything like that, I'm sorry, but you need to cut that shit off early. Grab the attitude adjuster, bend her over your knee, and spank the hell out of her. Be like, look, you're going to be in a lot of serious pain in your life if you continue to dress and act like that, so let me cut this shit out now and show you how it feels on me. Because it hurts. It should hurt you as a parent to have a especially a daughter that dresses and behaves in such a manner.
Fuck out the time on 50 shit. She tweaking now, she kicking now, she keep calling my phone. With you no lift, bitch, how you can?
Like, if I ever found out my daughter did anything like that with her ass, if she's in public school, I'm taking her out of public school. She's being homeschooled. She's gonna have zero access to the internet. She's not gonna be able to listen to any music other than classical, maybe some jazz, and she gets to read the Bible every day. That should be the life of your daughter if you catch her behaving like this. And also, like, look at that. It's like, one might argue that the reason she's a degenerate is because she's hanging out with degenerative black people. I don't want to be racist when I say that, but I kind of come off that way because it's statistically, just take a look. Statistically, black people lead degenerative culture. I'm taking a look at World Star Hip Hop for that very reason. Anyways, I'm done with bitching a bag. I really just cannot handle actual misogyny, which is what that is. Okay, hang on. Okay, we got Y and W Melly for real. This one looks like it might have some more empty money motivations in it. Let's take a look.
If Drew didn't film it, then it ain't filmed right.
Says the guy using one of the most simple Adobe filters ever. Like, if you want me to take a shit on your production, Drew, or whatever the hell you're... Yeah, Drew. I can do that, too.
I need to feel myself.
I need to feel myself.
Run that back, turbo. I really want to, babe. But you keep fucking playing with me. Shoot that Glock until it's fucking empty.
Shoot that Glock until it's fucking empty. Why do you think there's so much black on black crime? I hate using words like honestly and literally, but they are literally talking about killing each other in half the music. Why the hell do you think it happens so often? Don't get mad at us for talking about the stats about how often you people kill each other, how much black on black crime there is, when it's in your culture. You talk about it in every song, for the most part, from what I can tell. And you know what? That's why we're going to continue to do this every week, or even more consistently, because we need to crush this culture. We need to show how absurd it is that they are able to promote this behavior and then scream at anybody who isn't them for being racist for attacking it. Oh, it's fuck you. You people do deserve to die. In fact, get better at killing each other if you're not going to try and change your ways. Repent now, demons, as Alex Jones would say.
And I see it in your eyes, baby, do you like me? 'Cause I like you. Get to know you. Why I would lie to you. Give it to me slowly. Let the beat rock.
If you catch your daughter listening to music like this, because this is a trap. They have this kind of soft R&B music with the evil undertones to drag, I would say, haphazard people into the degenerate culture. When you're a teenager, you commonly walk the line of rebellion. And when you cross that line of rebellion by listening to music like this, you slip further in.
I can fly you to an island on a G5. For real.
I just want to say, here's another man with no actual expression going on in his eyes and his face. You can look dead center at the temple and observe the emotional complexities that he lacks. You look at a real human being who has a sound value system and has an actual consciousness that wants to move them and their family through the world, perhaps maybe even the voice of God, if you will, hanging out in the back of their mind. They don't just have these flat facial expressions, the dead eyes, the soulless look. Like, you could maybe blame it on the fact that they're high, but these people are high all the time then, if you want to argue that. And then he just... Let's I'm gonna turn that up again. He sounds like a pig squealing, but he's saying, "I'm smoking weed." Oh my god. What the fuck? Alright, we're gonna back that up. It's right here. I'm gonna turn this up. Grab yourself a thorough listen, because this is hilarious. Mm. Oh yeah, also, I assume get that money so you can buy more weed, or just sell that money and enter the free weed infinite loop. I did that for a while. It's pretty easy to go free on weed. Just pick up a half pound and sell it to the homies, which is what these all of them probably do that. Uh, I'm like liberal in the sense that I think weed doesn't do a ton of damage to the cognition of a person for long term. However, I am totally against it being legalized on a recreational level at this point. After being a degenerate long enough and moving out of that culture into being a actually real human being who has a soul and a god complex in my mind. I want to turn up some more. Yeah, get that money so you can spend it on alcohol and drugs. Get lit with whatever degenerate woman you hang out with, you fucking demons. They're always flashing guns in their music videos. We are 3 for 3 today on niggas flashing guns and wearing the most ridiculous jewelry. I just said I got a lot of guns. I'm all for being a proud gun owner. If you want to hunt, defend your property and your family. And God forbid if we're ever in a state of emergency where you'll actually have to consistently use them, then you will. Like if the state comes in, if the crazy far left try to control more of our speech and our lives essentially, and they turn into a fascist state, then unfortunately we will have to use them and defend ourselves like we've never have before. Hopefully that doesn't happen. But that's not what these people are preaching. It's have drugs, have degenerate females, and then have weapons to basically defend yourself because you're evil and evil people want to take and steal from other people. It's like it's the guns to defend status, which is not what you should be defending with lethal weapons. Anyways, more with whatever gibberish this is. When I call you, do not press ignore. Eat up the meat carnivore. Fuck on your bitch like a whore. That's sad to see, man. You got young kids being indoctrinated into this degenerative culture, and just before the artist says "fuck on your bitch like a whore." My God. Fuck on your bitch like a whore. That pussy acting like a dinosaur. Okay, I'm done with whatever the hell this is. So I really can't see any depth to the messages here. It's basically degenerate women are gross, so fuck on them like whores. I have no reason to get my money, so I'm gonna spend it on garbage, guns, drugs, alcohol, and shit to put in my teeth. So what if you're in degenerative culture, what can you do? Let's say you're watching this and you love rap music and you wanna come out of that, or you wanna find other rap music to listen to. For starters, no rap or hip hop really comes to my mind that's morally sound or has a positive message. I'm sure I could find some. I've just really completely stopped listening to this stuff, and I more or less just listen to like electronic music, jazz, classical. Um, but let's say you're a young man. You realize you've been a degenerate. most of your friends are degenerate. You're all sitting around doing the same thing, watching TV, smoking weed, going to shows every now and then. And let's say you want to get out of that. Okay, for starters, if your job isn't good, you got to well, oh, wait. We got to not aim at the job first. Okay, I would start with your wardrobe. Actually, your change in appearance can change your reality so much. It is actually a miracle, I would say. It is miraculous how amazing a change in attire can change behavior and also other people's perspective of you. So, okay, so if you have crazy colored hair, for starters, lop it off, go back to your natural hair color. Because anybody who's trying to hire you for any actual job is they're gonna discriminate against you for obscure hair colors. I mean, it's a sign of degeneracy after all. So, if you're a young man, change your hair color, change your wardrobe. What would I recommend you wear? Well, for starters, get some. Don't don't go to a job interview in your Nikes. You know, those are for the basketball court or any type of athletic activity. So let's leave the athletic clothes for actual exercise. So get yourself a pair of some dress shoes. I don't like the chunky black ones you can buy from Walmart or Target. I like some nice leather. I like brown shoes. But if you know, get what you can afford. Don't spend a whole lot of money on it. Get yourself some nice slacks if you don't already have some. Some that fit, some that aren't too baggy. Put a belt on and tuck your fucking shirt in. I'm serious. You do that, and you will never ever have a cop kick your ass for being a degenerate. Never ever. They will be all, and then in tune, change your behavior. Focus on being polite. Focus on saying please and thank you more. Try not to swear too often. Try to speak clearly, thoroughly, and thoughtfully. Don't use slang words. Don't say things like ma or turnt or whatever the hell you people say. Um okay, so we got some simple stuff. After that, if you're working in a bunk job, you got a fast food job, you got what have you. If you're good at manual labor and you can find a nice concrete job that's going to pay you $16 plus, go grab that. That's going to be a great start. Or whatever manual labor, framing, basic construction, landscaping. Go do that, especially if you're physically fit. You're going to excel at it. And then be a stand up person, speak clearly, thoughtfully, and then eventually in 6 months ask for a dollar raise. Keep climbing. Okay, with that being said, we got the foundations of what makes a life function. Then cut out the people that are degenerates, people that aren't respecting you, friends that aren't respecting you for trying to improve your life and your function in reality. So, I would recommend not having friends for a while. I didn't. I still am working to find friends. I met my fiance before I met some people that are morally sound and just. It's hard, man. When you didn't grow up in a morally sound and just and good culture growing, it's gonna be difficult to find those people because you just don't know where to look. Church is a great place, but it's hard to meet friends at church when you aren't young enough to be a part of their youth groups and programs. Um, I recommend finding a hobby and an interest where you can find good people in that who share your passion, etc. But that's getting ahead of the point. So we cut the degenerates out of your life. Hang solo for a while. While you're hanging solo, what can you do to improve your value systems and and perhaps even restructure your belief system? Well, I would spend some time meditating. I did that for a long time, and it allowed me to think about myself as an individual and what I can do to improve my consciousness, my cognitive function, and that voice in your head. Because I reckon a lot of these people don't have it hanging out. Because the voice in your head, it wants the best for you, and it's gonna criticize you, especially if you have a conversation with a some type of divine force in your mind, be it God or dharmatic unity. I'm not quite sure. Whatever you perceive. It could even be the collective voice of the universe. Whatever. So do something that's going to enhance that and read a lot. I'm not saying pick up the Bible and read that. Maybe read some psychology and some philosophy. Figure out why you behave the way you do or did, why you want to change yourself. Figure out what's the best way to change yourself. Like I like Manly P. Hall. He writes a lot on the ecclesiastical and mystical philosophers of the past, and he talks a little bit about how you can have a behavior that in turn affects your thoughts and vice versa. So thoughts affect behavior, behavior affects thoughts, belief ultimately affects all of that. And it's complex, you know. Your belief system might grow and change throughout time as you continue to expand it. So I gave you I'll stop valuing money so much. I know I'm kind of jumping around here. You should value it for what it is and what it can do for you and your family. That's about it. It's like that's why I mentioned getting a good job in concrete if you're physically fit. Something that's going to pay you $16 plus. So you can have that foundation so you're not just struggling all the time, having to make brash decisions to get a little extra cash like selling drugs, etc. You don't have to do that. You have to know what you can excel at, get a job and capitalize on it. And then you'll have the foundation and the time, you know, doing concrete, you'll probably have weekends off. That's plenty of time to start doing some reading, doing some meditating, doing some writing. If you're creative, paint, sing, write music, anything that's gonna explore the positive. And if you're writing music, stay away from lyrics that are coming out that are degenerative. You're gonna see those aspects of you still try to fight for control. You know, give it a year or two, and eventually you'll be a better person. Okay. Anyways, that's about it for episode 2. My first episode was an hour long. I'm trying to shorten these, stay topical, and get to the point. I hope all of you have a lovely week. It should be Tuesday when this comes out. Like, subscribe, comment if you want, share with me your thoughts, and always remember, down with degenerative culture.